Hey everyone, welcome to August 15th. So today's workout is a combination of a strength portion and a 15-minute AMRAP, both of which are dedicated to my birthday, which was on Wednesday this week. The AMRAP I'll talk about in a little bit. The barbell is what we're going to be working with in the strength portion. It's going to be a complex, something we actually haven't done yet in the gym. All the movements we're familiar with, but I'll talk about how they're going to be complex together. How we're going to warm up for this today. We're going to go through 45 seconds on, 15 seconds transition for one round. The first movement is going to be jump rope or penguin claps. So for the jump rope, we're just practicing our double unders that we're going to see in the workout. For our penguin claps, obviously, like we always practice, we're just going to be jumping up and tapping 2 times at the top of the jump, simulating that flick of the wrist that we see in double unders. Second, we're going to be doing a wall ball squat with a 3-second pause in the bottom plus a shoulder to overhead. So I'm going to have my wall ball in front of me. I'm going to be picking it up, ideally cleaning it up, and squatting for 3 seconds as if I just caught a wall ball. When I stand, I'm going to stand it all the way up and then dip and drive overhead with the wall ball. That was a push jerk. If I want to push press, that's also an option. I don't think anyone will be taking the strict press option today, so I'm not going to demo that. Third, we're going to go through either V-ups, knee-ins, or sit-ups. So all 3 movements here, first of which being our V-up. We're going to start in a full hollow body position with our biceps covering the ears, with our toes out in front of us, and we're going to be bringing our hands to our toes. Next, we're going to be going through knee-ins. So we can either plant the hands on the ground to scale, or if you can balance your feet, you can go through knee-ins that way. For our sit-ups, I'm going to be butterflying the feet together, touching the ground behind, and touching the ground in front of my toes. Fourth, we're going to be going through a weighted PVC, or in this case, a barbell complex, which is called a bear complex, which is what we're going to see in the strength portion. So, prior discretion, this is a long complex, a very long complex. It consists of a power clean, plus a front squat, plus a shoulder to overhead, plus a back squat, plus another to shoulder to overhead. That is an unbroken complex, and that is not even the full movement. The full movement is getting through that 7 times without putting the barbell down. Yes, that is the catch to the movement. So what is it going to look like? So this is the barbell. This is the barbell demo. The PVC, we're going to be doing the same thing here. Barbell is going to be starting on the ground, either with light plates or just the barbell to start. You are going to want to hook grip here, I promise you. So, I'm going to be starting as if I have plates on the ground from mid-shin. I'm going to be power cleaning the bar to my shoulders. I'm going to be front squatting the bar, standing it all the way up. I'm going to be shoulder to overhead, catch in the back rack, back squat, shoulder to overhead from the back rack, back to the front rack. And then I'm going right into my next set of 7 reps. So I'm going to be coming down, power clean, front squat, shoulder to overhead, back squat, shoulder to overhead. If I need to rest, the barbell does not go back down to the ground. That was my second time going through the complex. So I'm going to hold the bar here, maybe catch my breath, and then go back in to my power clean. So this is a lot of time to be under the barbell here. You're going to want to think about breathing when necessary. Usually at the end of your power cleans or your shoulder to overheads are the best time to do that. And what this is going to look like with dumbbells here. So I'm going to have dumbbells on the ground. I'm going to power clean them to my shoulders. I'm going to squat, I'm going to stand, I'm going to shoulder to overhead, and I'm okay if you want to do a little pseudo front squat, back squat action here. For back squat, shoulder to overhead, and back to the front rack, getting ready for my next power clean. Okay? So that is the double dumbbell version of a bear complex. We're going to be going through that with the weighted PVC in the 4th section of the warm-up, and then with the empty barbell in the 5th section of the warm-up, just like what I demoed with. To get into the workout today, the strength portion, like I just mentioned, is this bear complex. A few tips for it. If one of these movements is challenging for you, or you know that maybe you don't have the stamina to get through maybe 7 times, think about resting at specific points, like in the front rack after the power clean, or maybe in the back rack for the back squat. In terms of what weight to start with, be conservative. You want to think about starting with a weight. Yes, you might only get through this 2-3 times, maybe 4 max, but you want to sit in a place where you're comfortable going through each one of the movements. It's probably only going to be 2 to 3 times, honestly, that you'll get through this. In terms of the movement standards, you cannot combine a power clean and a front squat for a squat clean. It's really important here because they're separate movements complex together. So I'm going to power clean, stand up my power clean, front squat, stand up my front squat, and then shoulder to overhead. There are 3 separate movements. So same here, you cannot combine the front squat and shoulder to overhead into a thruster. So I'm standing up my front squat, and then I'm going into my shoulder to overhead. The double dumbbell option that I demoed in the warm-up is what you're going to do if you don't have access to a barbell. So be conservative. It's going to be a challenge, but a fun challenge. You know, that's what I'm here for. Everyone knows in my classes that I'm here to challenge you all, but I'm also your biggest fan. So that's why we're doing this today. For the WOD, yes, I'm relentless with what I program, but it is a 15-minute AMRAP here with the RX movements being 8 bar muscle-ups, 12 wall balls, heavy wall balls, 30 for the gentlemen, 20 for the ladies, 19 toe to bar, and 98 double unders. August 12th, 1998. Let's do it. In terms of our scale here, what we're going to be doing for the bar muscle-ups, and I'll be talking about this at the rig in a second, we're going to be doing either chest to bar, pull-ups, or ring rows. We can sub those with double dumbbell bent over row, so I'll demo the double dumbbell bent over row for you first if you're at home. What you're going to be doing is deadlifting the dumbbells up, hinging at the hips, and rowing those dumbbells to your armpits. Think about driving the elbows straight up. Standing, and going back down to the ground. For the wall balls here, obviously these are heavy wall balls. Wall balls are not many people's favorite movements, I know. So we can scale the weight and or the height of the wall ball. So if you need to go down, if you want to work with 30 at 9 feet, that's an option, but I would suggest scaling the weight first. How we're going to scale if we don't have access to a wall ball is go back to the dumbbells here. And we're going to go through thrusters. So dumbbells are going to be starting on the ground, and I'm going to be squat cleaning and thrustering. If you can't squat clean your first rep, you can also power clean to the front rack, front squat, press. In terms of the toe to bar, we can scale the toe to bar with either knees to chest, knees to elbow, or anchor toe to bar, because we'll be inside for this workout. And there's also the V-up, knee in, or sit-up option that we went over in the warm-up. Double unders can be scaled to penguin claps or weighted single unders, and those are all the scales for the movements in the warm-up, or excuse me, in the WOD. What we're going to do now is talk about the RX movements for the workout. I'm going to grab my wall ball and demo the wall ball. So, always measuring here. I always like to stick my arm out, get a full arm's length away from the wall. what I'm thinking about is these are heavy wall balls. You're gonna have to focus on driving with your legs today. So when I squat clean this wall ball, I'm thinking about hitting the bottom of my squat, hitting my target, and doing my wall balls. Yes, I always let it drop. I don't ever mess with that on my chest. So that is a scale for the wall balls. If we're going over to the rig now, talking about the 8-bar muscle-ups. So these bar muscle-ups, high-level gymnastic movement. If you have some bar muscle-ups, I would mix them in there, whether that means cutting the reps slightly or possibly scaling half the reps to bar muscle-ups, maybe your other half is chest to bar, if you have them. If you don't have them, like I mentioned before, chest to bar, pull-up are the options. What we're gonna do here is, for the bar muscle-up, focusing on slamming that trap door here as we go, pull to arch above the bar. If we are scaling that, we can do chest to bar, coming from hollow to arch, or we can do our normal pull-ups here, where our chin gets over the bar. Lastly, we have our ring rows, where I'm always measuring elbow to middle finger, gripping the rings. To make the rings harder, we can step our feet forward, either in line with the upright, and rowing the rings to my chest. In terms of the toe to bar here, we have a couple different scaling options, like all of us have probably done at some point during class. For our normal RX toe to bar, we're gripping onto the bar, levering down, toes touch the bar. Feet also pass behind the upright on every rep. Same goes for our knees to 90 and knees to chest. So knees to 90 and knees to elbow and knees to chest. Okay? So, that is all the movements. That is the workout. Yes, it feels like it's like 5 workouts put into one. But it's going to be fun. We're all going to do it together. I wanted to celebrate with you all, and this is my way of doing it. So, see you next Saturday, hopefully. And move well if you're at home. And good luck. See you later, guys.